Hey guys, welcome to this episode of From the Pages. I'm Anthony. This is Collectors Entertainment Network, and we're continuing our look at 1985's Inside Wrestling with the March 1985 issue. But before we get into that, guys, I'd like to ask you, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because I'd love to have you back. Please comment down below. Let me know your memories of Inside Wrestling or any other wrestling magazines for that matter. Guys, please share this video with anyone you think may like it, because that is the best way to get it out in YouTube, is word of mouth, people sharing it. So please share this video with anyone you think may like it as well. Also, guys, please give this video a like, because that helps a lot too. All right, so we've got March 1985 Inside Wrestling. Let's get into the pages.
Alright guys, here we go. Inside Wrestling, March 1985. We've got He's Back and Better Than Ever. Backlandamania is sweeping the nation. Billy Jack, the NWA title is the only one that matters. It's time for Americans to take a stand, deport the Koloffs now. And up here, the final conflict, the Von Erichs Battle Devastation Incorporated. Alright, let's open it up. And of course, it's ads as soon as you open it up. We can skip that and go right to here, your table of contents. And of course, opposite that is more ads. There's always ads in these magazine. Here is Sincerely Yours. I don't know, that looks like JYD to me, but it looks like maybe a little bit older. Oh yeah, JYD right there. True fans. And of course, oh yeah, I always love this. This was like the novelty. You got X-ray glasses, spy pen, radio, novelty pranks, and stuff like that. All right, Editor's Notebook by Peter King. More ad. Just trying to make money or something. Top Secret Behind the Dressing Room Door by Stu Sachs. And we've got Wrestling's Greatest Subscription Deal. 24 sensational issues for only $25. And that is The Wrestler and Inside Wrestling. I believe in some of these magazines they offer like a triple one with The Wrestler, Inside Wrestling, and Pro Wrestling Illustrated. Alright, On the Road with Craig Peters. And then here's a subscription to Pro Wrestling Illustrated. Special subscription offer to Pro Wrestling Illustrated. You get 12 big issues for only $17. Good stuff. Alright, Names Making News. Who do we have here? We've got General Skandar Akbar, Hacksaw Duggan, Dennis Brown, Frazier and Rhodes, Crusher Khrushchev, and Kevin Von Erich. Alright, let's keep it going. Oh, back issues. I used to love looking at these because it was so funny, because it was the 80s. I mean, I wasn't buying magazines in 85, but even by like 87, when I was buying magazines, you can look back and like they had back issues back into the 70s, which was crazy because in WWF magazine, they usually had back issues for like a year, maybe a year and a half, maybe a year and a half, but that was it. In these magazines, you could go back to the 70s and order them. It was crazy. Now, I mean, yes, granted, it was the 80s, but still. Alright, Body Slams and Pinfalls. I see Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair there. Trying to get the glare as little as possible. And, of course, Go First Class. You've got other magazines. Wrestling 85. Does it finally say Wrestling 85? Yeah. And then Wrestling Superstars. The Insider. I don't know who we got there. Looks like a music video. Something. And Superstar Pro Wrestling Game. I feel like this was a 2-page ad before. Now it's down to 1. I could be wrong. What do we have in the last few episodes? Alright, news from the Wrestling Capitals from Beaumont, Texas. You've got Butch Reed versus Master G. Isn't that George Wells, Master G? And then you got Columbus, Ohio, Ric Flair versus Tommy Rich. Chicago, Illinois, you got Crusher Blackwell versus Bruiser Brody. Buffalo, New York, you got Hulk Hogan versus Roddy Piper. Atlanta, Georgia, you've got Ronnie Garvin versus Wahoo McDaniel. And Uniondale, New York, Greg Valentine versus Junkyard Dog. Now, Uniondale, New York, that's the Nassau Coliseum. That's where I grew up 20 minutes away on Long Island from the Nassau Coliseum. So, there you go. That was happening close to me at this time. All right, Matt Brock's Plain Speaking. You've got, looks like reports from New York, Minneapolis, Greensboro, Dallas, Portland. All the major territories, it looks like. Where are they now? You've got Jim Holiday, Masked Superstar, Wild Bill Curry, and Steve Travis. And over here you have Inside Wrestling's Capsule Profile, Eddie Gilbert. There's usually like a pinup on the other side, right? Yep. Looks like it. Yeah, there you go. Capsule pinup, Eddie Gilbert. And here we go. Special editorial. It's time for Americans to take a stand, deport the Koloffs now. I guess they were causing havoc in the NWA. There they are. I see him versus Dusty. I can't make out anyone else, but obviously I think that's Dusty in the bottom there. All right, your official ratings. I've done this before. Here we go. You've got NWA, AWA, WWF, most popular, most hated, and your tag teams. Who are the number one tag teams? You got the Road Warriors. You've got, who's that? Dusty Rhodes and Manny Fernandez. And then you've got Steve Kern and Stan Lane. And of course, here are all your rankings for all your different federations. But really, like, most popular, Dusty Rhodes, more popular than Hulk Hogan. I mean, I get it. Dusty Rhodes is super popular in his territory, but I mean, Hulk Hogan at this point was national. I mean, Dusty Rhodes had been around a long time, so he was a known name too. But anyway, here we go. He's back and better than ever. Backlund Mania sweeping the nation. Where was he wrestling at this point? Because he was not in the WWF anymore. I don't know where he was wrestling. Do you guys know where he went to after? That looks like, didn't Ron Bass have that those like horseshoes on the back of his trunks? Pretty sure he did, but I can't, it could have been one of the Blackjacks or something. I don't remember. All right, hot seat. Billy Jack, the NWA title is the only one that matters. And these pages are a little bit harder to turn than, say, WWF Magazine, because they're like newspaper paper. And more is an interview with Billy Jack. All right, the final conflict. The Von Erichs battle Devastation Inc. Isn't that the missing link right there? Right over here? I don't know. I didn't, I guess this was in World Class Championship Wrestling. I didn't really watch that. I mean, the only thing I knew about that is what I would read in these magazines. And again, I wasn't buying magazines in 85, so I didn't start till 87. So, and I would see NWA, or, I would see that on TBS, but, so that, and I would see AWA sometimes on, like, ESPN. So I would see other federations, but I didn't really see anything from, World Class, except for what was in the magazines. Like I said, I was a WWF guy. I would see NWA. That I would kind of keep track of. AWA, I would kind of like just check out every once in a while. But other federations, if they weren't available in New York, I wouldn't see them. All right, one-on-one. This is that thing where you have like it's like a phone call, and they have the transcript from it, which I don't think actually happened. But you've got Chris Adams and Kevin Von Erich. And then we've got this month in the Wrestler and Pro Wrestling Illustrated, which is funny because, so in this month's Wrestler, it would say this month in Inside Wrestling and Pro Wrestling Illustrated, and the same for Pro Wrestling Illustrated. But let's see what's going on. We've got Rick Martel and Harley Race, something about Sergeant Slaughter, plus Rick Rude, Jimmy Hart, the Von Erichs, Chris Adams, the Fantastics, and the Road Warriors. That's all going on in the Wrestler. And in Pro Wrestling Illustrated, you have Jimmy Snuka vows that he wants revenge against Roddy Piper. But will this bloodlust destroy the Tonga Kid as well? You've got stuff about Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes, plus Ronnie Garvin, the Road Warriors, the Funks, gorgeous Jim Garvin, and Terry Gordy. And on sale January 12th. So we are in the March issue of Inside Wrestling, and they're talking about something that's going to be on sale on January, 22nd. Sorry, I said the 12th. It's the 22nd. So that shows you how far in advance these magazines. So that is probably the March. Oh, no, actually, it's the April. Look at this. All this and much more in the April 1985 issue of Pro Wrestling Illustrated, on sale January 22nd. Why is the April issue on sale in January? I could see the February issue on sale in January. Heck, that's late January. I'll even give you the March one. But the April issue on sale, that's crazy. That is just... What's the point in having dates on it at that point? Because it's not even close to April. Anyway. So that's why, I mean, we're looking at this, and this is all stuff that happened in 1984. None of this is, none of this happened in 1985. It's so far off. All right, here now we're getting into the, continued on page 52, or whatever that is. And we've got Wrestling 85, finally. It says Wrestling 85. Unless this magazine came out right at the beginning. Even if it came out right at the beginning of January, it's still going to be covering stuff from 84. So... Alright, Strong Arms, Pro Wrestling Illustrated, back issues, only $2 each. That's awesome. Now, granted, at this point, the magazine on newsstands, I think, was like $1.75. But still, to get a back issue, $2. I don't know if they were shipping and handling, but if you get a bunch, it might be worth your while. Alright, Victory Sports Wrestling, back issues are now available. Yeah, you got a lot of your back issues here. And all these magazines were sort of related in some way. Pro Wrestling Illustrated, The Wrestler, Inside Wrestling, I guess Victory Sports. What's the other one? Sports Review Wrestling. They're all interconnected. They're all basically your aftermags. Then you have other magazines that are not affiliated with them. But yeah, here, Sports Review Wrestling, exactly. You can get the back issues for that. I do have some of those. I think I have a run of one of them, 85, 86, something like that, maybe 87, or I'm only missing like one, so maybe I'll try and get that one so we can do that. I think it's Sports Review Wrestling, and it might be 87, but I'm not positive. Alright, the most incredible grab bag in wrestling history, look at that. And of course you've got your, whatever this nonsense, a home import business. Yeah, that's what we're doing, right? Body slams and pinfalls continued. And then you've got other ads all over the place. More of the articles being continued. Very rare back issues. The original Wrestling Review, only $5 each. And warehouse clearance of rare back issues. So they're just trying to sell all their old back issues to all those magazines. And then here we've just got ads, ads, and ads. And then the back cover is the Wrestling Album 5. Again, this is a photo album, not to be confused with what the WWF would produce, I guess, later in 85, the Wrestling Album, which is a music album. These are just photo albums. So, Wrestling Album 5. And guys, that is going to do it for March 1985 issue of Inside Wrestling.
All right, guys, that was the March 1985 issue of Inside Wrestling. Again, I'm going to ask you, please subscribe, please comment, please like, and please share. All those things help the channel so much, and it is greatly, greatly appreciated. All right, we're going to keep continuing on with Inside Wrestling. Next issue will be the April 1985 issue. But until then, guys, have a good one.